Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, and welcome to the first episode of Chat EBC for 2024. We've had a little bit of a break over the holidays, and we are delighted to be back, getting to know more of our members, finding out their stories, and hopefully sparking some more conversations. Today, we're joined by a very good friend of mine who I've had the pleasure of working with both as when I was president and he was area director, and we've also done strategy summits together. So we're going to get into his story. He's got a huge background in EO regionally and globally and within EBC. So, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Frank Gessner. Frank, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me. Looking forward to this chat EBC. A really good format.
Cool. Thanks for joining us. Now I'm looking at the screen, and you are looking a lot more tan than I am. So tell me, what have you been doing over Christmas?
I was 3 weeks with my wife in Sri Lanka, which was I really fall in love with this country. The last week was joined by my oldest daughter. I have three daughters. She's already 31, my oldest, with her boyfriend, and there was a little bit too much sun, and yeah, my skin is it's enough to see a picture of the sun, and I get this dark color, right?
So I'm Irish. So when I see a picture of the sun, I just go red.
Right,
So 3 weeks in Sri Lanka, I would come back like a shriveled
right.
prune or something like that. So Frank, you mentioned there you were in Sri Lanka with your wife and your eldest daughter. You said you have three kids. Tell me about your family, your background.
Yeah, family is really number one for me. So I'm married, happily married for 18 years, and out of a former relationship, I have two daughters. They are now 27 and 28. Um, lives in Berlin, other in Hanover, both in Germany, and the third one is the daughter of my wife, which I adopted when she was 25. And I mean, they're equally in my heart, all three of them. And yeah, my daughter and my wife, that makes me happy.
Very good. And but you're living, because I know you travel quite a bit. You've interests in the Middle East. You've interests in
Yeah.
Europe, but you live in Europe and Germany, right?
I live in Germany, both in Berlin and a small city south of Berlin. It's called Jena. And this is my center. But as you said, kind of, especially the last 2 or 3 years I was not that much in Germany. I was really traveling around the world.
I mean, I do remember on a lot of calls that we were on together. Sometimes you'd be in the sun in Dubai. Sometimes you'd be I think you have one of your places has this spectacular artwork on the wall, a huge painting on the wall, which was
Mhm.
I think is one of your places in Germany. But it was always interesting to look at the background and go, where's Frank this call?
All right.
So where are you right now?
I'm currently in Berlin, in my apartment in Berlin. Mhm.
Okay. And you're going to Austria. You're telling me that you're going
Go
to
to
the
Oslo,
retreat.
then from Jena by car. Looking forward to see all my EPC tribe again in March, beginning of March.
Very good. So tell me, we've touched on that you travel a lot. Tell me about well, normally I would ask, tell me about your business, but I mean, in your case, we could be here for a while. Tell me about what you do, because you got some really interesting things going on.
Absolutely. So I'm kind of the main engagement, or what I did for the last 5 years was helping investors to build up crypto exposure and have it professionally managed, kind of as a new asset class. It's not that often that a new asset class is establishing, and we build financial products and did trading strategies on this and so on. It's currently the market is recovering. The last 2 years where everyone was a
Yeah.
little collective depression, and
Yeah.
now it's getting better. The market is recovering slowly, which is good. But
But
never
slowly, but also a little bit more predictably. I mean, not that crypto is all that predictable, but it's a steadier rather than a roller coaster.
right. Or do I have it in different wording? It has more fundamentals now.
Okay.
Right? So since kind of certain type of financial products, ETFs were granted in the US. There is a halving going on in April, and kind of there are some momentums in the market which gives some bullish signals. This is what I did the last years. However, what I'm trying to do for 5 years is to go into a non-executive phase in life, which is which is which is now getting a little bit more solid. That I say so after 30 years building up, or 3 decades building up companies, 10 plus companies I've built up to IPOs. That I said now it's time, after having 7,000 employees, having 0 employees, and rather maybe I can be of help to other entrepreneurs, be a mentor, be kind of do some advisory engagements, and having also not a full-time engagement anymore. I'm now turned 55, and yeah, so that's what I'm looking for to build up as a next big project in my life.
Mm-hmm. So then, but you still have large teams at the moment. Like you still have, I don't know if you still got the
I
5,000, but you've
still
still
have
got, because
company,
you've.
kind of, yeah. But my official role at this crypto company is chairman. So it's a kind of also a non-executive role through
Mm-hmm.
much on my plate. The company was also very hit by this FTX
Yeah.
crash in November 2022. So the majority of funds were frozen or still frozen over there. So
I
crypto.
think we were in Malta around that time. We were in
Oh,
Malta. We were at the president's meeting,
we were in Washington together at the GLA.
in
The
Washington,
crypto,
that's what it was. Yeah, and everything was falling, and it was really
and this
oof.
one really hit me. And I also lost. It's not only that the company was heavily damaged by this crash, and it was certainly a failure to have so much fund on a single custodian or a single exchange. But kind of, yeah, that's the mistakes we all entrepreneurs regularly do. However, also also private, kind of for my private funds, there was a lot traded on FTX.
Mm,
And yeah, we were together in Washington when this happened, and I
yeah.
called my wife and I said, you know what? Not only that, this I have a huge investment into this company, that this is on risk, but also a lot of investors that might be unhappy, and a lot of private money is gone. And my wife
Mm,
was thinking for 1 or 2 minutes and said, "Your kids are healthy, they love you. I'm okay, I love you. What's the problem?" Uh,
mm.
and and set me again.
Yeah, it puts some stuff into perspective. All right.
It is, yeah. So, but anyway, it's still going on, and as a second thread, I'm looking forward to, yeah, to continue. I'm already a mentor for entrepreneurs for 8 years, and now I want to do it. Want to spend more time with this.
Okay. So then, is that what's on your mind at the moment? Like, is there anything? Again, this is not 5%. Where this is a public conversation, but is there anything that's on your mind at the moment, which is something? I mean, it could be about this, and maybe it is about becoming more of a non-executive and spending more time with the mentors. But what's occupying your time at the moment, your mind at the moment?
Um, the two things that I feel: first, now it's really the time for this non-executive phase. Second, if I do this, I really want to do this good. I mean, I want to
Hmm.
be, I want to become the most awesome mentor an entrepreneur can get, and therefore I'm currently building two, let's say, mentoring products. One is
Hmm.
called the North Star Pilot, that helps entrepreneurs to really find out what I really want and why, the big why, right? Why do I want to whatever
Hmm.
make a next million, or leave this company, or sell this company, or build a new? What is my goal and where I want to go? And there's a model I developed over years that helps to figure this out in a quite easy way. And the second is to help entrepreneurs to help companies to scale better, or right? And there is this EOS
Hmm.
you might have heard
Yep.
about. better operating
Yeah,
system,
yeah. We use EOS in our business
right?
at the moment. Find it fantastic. Yeah.
And there's some guys in US. They build a kind of next generation US called Plume
Bloom. Yeah,
Growth.
yeah. I know the guy. That's really exciting
And
stuff. Their software looks
really,
fabulous.
really
Yeah.
good stuff. I was using EOS for 10 years or so, and I'm really
Hmm.
impressed how the Plume is easing so much in the process, and also to tool
Hmm.
support and so on. It's really, really great. And I'm next not the week after next week, I go to Florida in order to become a Plume coach.
Okay.
And so I have something kind of for the entrepreneur and for the companies of the entrepreneurs. And this is what I want to build up. That's really fun to build up something new.
So
Really build up.
I
Love this.
I have a challenge for you because within EBC there is another Bloom coach already certified. So it's going to be your job to find out who that person is.
Christoph.
Oh yeah, okay, you know already.
No,
Yeah,
actually, he's
no.
not certified yet, but we go together to
Oh,
Florida
certified. Okay.
in order to become certified. But we both do this. And Christoph was the one mentioning this to me. It was the first time that I heard about it, and
Yeah.
so I got in contact with them. And I'm at the beginning I was quite skeptical since I didn't want to become an EOS coach. Normally the EOS
Hmm.
coach are whatever. Um, but these Bloom guys are really one
Yeah.
level up, and I really love it. Mhm.
So that I mean, normally I would be asking somebody like, if you weren't doing what you're currently doing, what would you like to explore? But you're already now at this point of where you are kind of
Yes,
I've
yes,
done everything I want to do in that industry, and now I want to move on to the next chapter. So that's really exciting.
absolutely. And if I would have whatever hundreds of millions on my bank account, I would exactly do this.
Hmm.
This is what I want to do in a perfect way, not in a whatever 40, 50, 60 hours a week engagement, but rather whatever a 21. But this will turn out.
Yeah, yeah. And but doing it on your own time, and being able to also, I suppose, I mean, I work with a lot of coaches here. We supply personality profiles to a lot of coaches, and some of them are working more. They've gotten out of their day jobs, but because they have to keep the wheel turning, they're doing more and more engagements. So if you get to a certain point and you're like, look, I'm only going to work with a handful of people that I enjoy working
That's
with, and
what I
everybody
really
else can.
enjoy. So kind of a handful or whatever, 6, 7 engagements at the same time, and then
Hmm.
next one asking, is getting into the queue once I leave an engagement.
Very good. So you mentioned that you've been mentoring people for about 8 years. Is that around? How long have you been in EO?
14 years.
14
2000,
years. Okay.
14 years. Yeah, 14 years. I'm in EO. I started in the Berlin chapter,
Hmm.
and then after someone kind of one of the founders of EU Germany, Marcel Otto John. I don't know whether you know him. He
Also,
helped
yeah,
me,
yeah, I know him.
right? He helped me with a company that was really in trouble at this time, and my co-founders were not of too much help in the process.
Okay.
So for whatever, I don't know how we got together, but he helped me, and then he said, "Frank, you have to join this organization." I said, "Hey, I grew up in Eastern Germany. All types of organizations, it's not for me." No, no, Frank, you have to go there. And then I joined EO, and then after a couple of years, I actually wanted to leave. Wanted to leave EO since I have seen Wern Harnisch and whatever Ron
Yeah.
Rutland, and been to a couple of events, and said, that's, and my forum was also not doing that well at this time. And then
In your forum, were you in your forum for many, many years, and it was starting to get lag, or what? What was
after a
the?
couple of years, after 5, 6 years, as usually it is, if forums do not
Yeah.
continue to develop.
I bring up an issue. I know what he's going to say. I know what story she's going to tell, and I know what
Right.
experience they're going to. Yeah.
Yeah, that's, by the way, that's currently something I'm taking care of for Europe, that I want to address this problem. So I interviewed 12, 15 forum experts around the globe and global board members what needs to be different in tenant forums versus young ones, and
Mm-hmm.
collected all this and implemented this into my current forum. And my current forum was always a little bit this, and now really,
Fantastic.
really up. However, at this time, I was about to leave, and then with Carl Funke, who was then later in the global board, we had a discussion about this, and he was at the same stage, and then the discussion resulted in either we leave or we go deeper in, and we both decided to go deeper in. I went to the board, finance share of the
Mm-hmm.
Berlin chapter, and then there was this global, or this German-wide cross-chapter organization, the so-called EV, kind of an association, a legal roof, heading this, various positions. Then became president of the Berlin chapter. When I joined the chapter board, we were 40 something
I
members.
was I was going to say, when I mean, your impact on that board has been astronomical.
Well, not astronomical,
So,
but I had a
okay, you don't want to toot your own horn. I'm quite happy to let people know that you went from being a regular kind of sub 75 chapter to a mega chapter.
yeah, yeah. Kind of when I became president, we were already 127 or so, and then after 2 years in the seat, we were 238 or so, and we got the
Mm-hmm.
we got the highest rating on member satisfaction in the ever in the region, and then
And,
based on,
and to be fair, high ratings from a German is impossible to get.
yeah, I think that's fake. Yeah, it's true. So and afterwards kind of said, I had 1 year break. So after this 2 year presidency, I had to promise my wife to have a break of 1 year. And then I said, how can I help other presidents in growing into this fantastic role? I'm still believe that presidents is the best role you have
Mm-hmm.
to offer, since the personal growth opportunity is so huge. Kind of, it's bigger than in any other position. So after 1 or 2 years being presidents, I so often that we see members from being a normal average EO member or leader becoming really outstanding leaders after 1 or 2 years. And I said, how can I be potentially be coach or mentor to other presidents? And I'm now, and this role is called area director, and I'm now
Mm-hmm.
in my third year being a coach or mentor, and 1 or 2 years
Yeah.
we were allowed to work together.
So we were for 1 year. I was 2 years, but I think I had a different area director the first year. And I think the
And
second year was
1 year
you.
we were together. Yeah. Mhm.
And
To
and I
explain.
know you gave me an immense amount. I mean, this was the 2 years of COVID. So I mean, any help I could get, I would get. And the chapter was really struggling before. We had some internal stuff. But COVID actually really helped. It really solidified a lot of the groups and the forums in our chapter, which was brilliant. But your help and advice and everything else has been fantastic. And I know you've also helped Ted, who's the current. He did 2 years as well. So in his first year, you were his area director as well. So
Yeah.
so you were fantastic.
You were fantastic since you turned around the chapter, right? The chapter was really in a crisis, and you stepped in. You really
Well,
stepped in,
that's yeah.
and then turned around the table and enabled the next growth phase.
But Ted and Harry's the incoming president, and he's great as well. So, but we are not here to talk about the Irish chapter. We're here to talk about the EBC. So when did you join EBC? You're about a year and a bit now. No, you and I joined at the same time, I think, in Albania.
In Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Albania was my first
Uh,
EBC outing. That was the year. That was immediately after finishing my presidency in Ireland.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we're destined to go through some things
I
together
heard
in
about it.
in EO.
This EBC and being in the regional council.
Mm-hmm.
We invited Frido, and I think Edward was in the meeting, and also kind of there were some discussions in other chapters. Oh, there is this EBC, and members leave and go to this EBC. So it was kind of a competitive, whatever, rumor in the room, and we said, hey, come on, explain what you're doing, and how can we help you, and so on. And I was just listening. Yeah, and they were explaining what they're doing. I was sitting there, and I said, I'm in.
Ooh.
I want to do this. Right, and then I joined, and the very first time, in after being so long in EO, I really found my tribe. This is my tribe. I mean,
Mhm.
in Berlin or in other chapters, you also have awesome entrepreneurs, but in EBC, you have this sense of global citizen, or the sense of being open
Mhm.
to the world, to travel, which is exactly me, right? I remember that in Morocco, we were sitting around this campfire, and someone was standing up and was shouting out, "Who is not living in the same country you were born?"
Mhm.
I think 80% was raising their
Yeah.
hand. Who is who is engaged with a partner of a different nationality, also around whatever, two-thirds, right?
Yeah.
Who had been president in a chapter? Amazing. It was 40% or so had been president. Who worked for more, who lived for more than, and so on. And this is exactly my tribe.
Mm.
Entrepreneurs who really enjoy being part of a global community, who are also most of the EBC guys are also a little bit further ahead in their not only entrepreneurial but also kind of personal life.
And a
Um,
lot of the time in their EO journey as well, they tend to be majority of people, I think, have been in EO for a good number of years and have been really looking and maybe enjoyed a lot of these GLCs and universities and regional conferences and really enjoy the international element of it. Absolutely love the local perspectives and the local forums. Some people aren't in local forums, even if they don't go to something like EBC. But I think that there is a definite shared mindset in EBC.
it is right, and the energy is really positive. The forum format is mind blowing.
Mm.
It's And as hard as it is to non-EO members to describe what the hell EO is, as hard it is to explain to normal EO members what the hell is EBC, right? Since it's not for everyone, since not everyone
Mm.
has the time kind of to go for whatever 3, 4, 5 days once a quarter. The money, it also costs, travel
Hmm.
also costs money. Many
But
also
I,
really want to have a monthly rhythm. Not everyone is happy
yeah,
with this quarterly. So that
waiting to the quarterly. The other thing which I was really really impressed with at the very first retreat that I went to was how deep everybody gets and how deep people who'd never met before,
right,
or like been in a forum together. And I think the shuffle thing really drives that home. Like there's at the last in Bodrum, I think there was a conversation. Actually, we are just one big forum. We're not a chapter. We're one big forum, and then each of the
right.
subdivisions of that forum. I think that's a really interesting way of looking at it.
It is. It is. It is. And I'm super super happy. I'm still both EBC and my
Mhm.
Berlin forum and chapter. So we do both. I think the majority has also a local forum. I'm not sure about
So
the statistics, but I think the majority has a
the
dual.
majority, I think, are dual. I think there might be only, I don't know, maybe 10, maybe 15 max out of the 60 that, no, I'd say probably 10 that that are just EBC. And I know at least two of those are people who don't actually have a local chapter, and they're coming to us because we are their local chapter. So
Right. Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Super happy. Super. Yeah. Warm-hearted. Even I feel warm-hearted in this
mm,
EBC group. Yeah. Mhm.
cool. Well, look, I have five random questions. These are just top of the head, just whatever is your first answer. We're not putting you on the spot, but whatever is the first answer that comes into your head, that's just hopefully this is something that can spark a conversation at the next event. So first question here is, what's the most interesting thing you've read or seen this week, not counting me obviously?
This week, I mean, I just come back from Sri Lanka, and what was what was so fascinating, besides kind of this beautiful landscape and culinary experiences, is the general positivity of the people who live obviously in a much lower kind of living standard than the majority of the Europeans, but kind of this positivity, this smile, the and I mean, especially coming back to Germany, where I mean, the Germans are not really known for being the nicest people around this globe. They were structured, but we are not nice. Um, but this was, I think, this positivity, which is also, I truly believe that being to be happy is a decision, and
Hmm.
uh, and you can also decide not to be happy, and rather complain or others. And this was really, really good to see. I mean, 3 weeks of smiling people is really changing. Then you start smiling again. And when I smile, so kind of, if you walk the street in Germany or especially Berlin, and someone is coming next to you and you smile, they think you're on track.
Come to Dublin, everybody smiles and everybody's friendly here.
All right.
Okay, next question. What's your favorite thing about your current job? Now pick one.
Um, then I picked the mentoring is
Hmm.
this this deep social connect, which I really, really enjoy. Right, the really be connected by heart, not only intellectually, and going this journey together. I mean, obviously, I can
Hmm.
contribute with some of my experiences and cleverness and whatever, right? But I think the main thing is be connected and go this together. And this is so. And then I really limit this to entrepreneurs. I only wanna be mentor to entrepreneurs, and most of them are really fascinating personalities. And then to
Hmm.
get to know them better, to connect to them, and then to bring them to a higher level of journey. Wow, wow, what a privilege! What a privilege!
I'm loving these answers. Third one. What is one thing that you wish you knew when you were younger?
Um, there are many things I wish I would have known when I was younger. The big question is if I would have listened. Meditation is one.
Hmm.
I started to take care about my body more, which I'm now doing okay, okayish well, but I have not done before since the body was always okay, um, and also see the priorities in life, kind of, when what's really important to me, and this is my health, my wife, my family, my independence. That's important, not my whatever my LinkedIn profile.
Very good. Actually, I really love this question. What's something you're proud of but never have an excuse to talk about?
Mhm. Um, I don't know.
You talk about everything that you're proud of.
No, I mean, but actually, I don't know if there's something I'm proud of I've never talked about.
Not
Um,
that you've never talked about, but you rarely, let's say you rarely have an excuse to talk about something that you're really proud of, but it doesn't come up as much as you'd like.
all right. So I have a weakness, and this is an addiction for watches. Um, so
Okay.
watches like this one, and I really love to read about the mechanical details, and I pretty know what the big brands have in their product pipeline, and all the other stuff is totally useless knowledge, and no one wants to talk about this with me, but I love it. I studied computer
Okay.
science. buttons and mechanical how a computer works. It's easy for me to understand, but mechanical details
Mm.
like this one, it's so fascinating how this is working.
Is there a MyEO watch lovers group? There must be. There must be a MyEO watches group somewhere, like a
I
global
haven't
thing.
heard about it, but
Ah, you can be
if so, I take over the lead.
okay. I can't remember now if this is question 4 or question 5 because it's a random generator. But if you could instantly master a musical instrument, which one would you choose?
The drums, absolutely the drums,
Drums.
absolutely the
Okay.
drums, and I love also to feel the drums in my body when I hear I feel the drums. I don't listen to the drums. I feel the drums.
So were you in Riga?
Yeah. No, no, no,
So
not
you
Riga.
were
No, no. I had to skip Riga. Yeah,
okay.
I was in
Oh
Dubai.
yes, I remember. I remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dubai
But
nightmare.
we had a drum session. I'm sorry, you missed it now.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
No.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, so let's go to. I'm going to say that was question 5. It might have been question 4, but if it was only question 4, and we didn't get a fifth question, that means that in Austria people have to ask you random questions and see what happens. So the last question is a question that I was asked by Chris
Mhm.
in our last chat. So the tradition is that we ask the guest to give us a question for the next person, not knowing who it is. So Chris is a big proponent of life-work balance as opposed to work-life balance. He goes into a lot of that in his story. So his question to the next guest is, how do you take care of your life-work balance?
So what the first, I'm not always succeeding. The first is to minimize the difference. That there is no that work is life and life is work. So that there is no if I do something, I would also do if I would not get paid for it. If I just do it out of passion, out of interest, out of curiosity or thirst for learning or whatever, right? Then I'm so happy to do this. If I even get into the flow state doing it, it's a perfect moment in life, right? Although I'm working, right? The stress comes for me if I have to do things I don't want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we call it work. But an alternative to this is to say, well, maybe I have not taken the effort enough to think about whether I should do it at all and how to get out of here and how to get back to the to do the things I really want to do. And if I do the things I really want to do, I want to do it 100 hours a day, um, and and really jump into this. Um, Second part of this answer is this. I shared with you that I developed this North Star pilot, and one of the element is to get awareness about what are really your priorities in life, what has a higher priority or what has a lower priority. For example, whatever financial independence versus family, right? If you
Mm-hmm.
work, you do something against one of the others, and if you don't work, you also do something against. What is more important, and this helps you to find. For me,
Mm-hmm.
family, marriage is it's so more important than anything else. That if I look at my calendar and nothing is planned for them, then something is wrong. So I really
Mm-hmm.
mind me. So what is important is I look at my calendar and know what's important for me.
Fantastic. Well, Frank, thank you very, very much for joining me here today on the first Chat EBC of the year, the first of many as we go through the year. And hopefully, this will spark a couple more conversations with people at different retreats to get to know you a little bit better and to see where there's areas of common interest and things like that. You might even start a MyEO Watch group.
Absolutely, maybe. Thanks for having me, and it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks a minute. See you soon.